Short Creek's got everything. It's a great place for hiking, camping, and caving. Local churches use it for baptisms and weddings. And once a month, on a full moon, it's a great place to find ghosts. Short Creek rests in a shaded glen just outside of Shopville, Kentucky. Its claim to fame is it's the shortest creek in the state of Kentucky and one of the shortest creeks in the world. If you visit Short Creek, what you'll see is, well, of course, the creek itself. It appears from a small cave, flows for approximately 100 feet, and then spills into another cave. The site itself is a popular attraction, and it's been that way for a very long time. As a matter of fact, it's approximately 150 years ago that the story of Short Creek began. It had become a staple of the community, a place where men and women, churchgoers in particular, would use it for their own religious practices, but also others would use it for a place to bathe. The waters were very cool. It could be a relaxing place to visit during the summer. Well, it just so happens there was a plantation house a short distance from Short Creek, briefly before the Civil War. The slaves at the plantation house used the creek to relax after a hard day of work. The slaves would venture out of their house, sneak to the creek, and have a relaxing swim in the water. Afterwards, they would slip back home. Time passed, and after the Civil War, this practice basically stopped. Years later, at midnight, on a full moon, strange things were seen at that location. According to legend, at midnight, when the moon is full, the ghosts of these Civil War-era slaves still return to Short Creek. They will appear right around midnight and go for a swim in the cool waters before disappearing into the night. Have I ever experienced anything at Short Creek? One of my earliest investigations actually took place at Short Creek. It was a full moon, and we decided to put the story to the test. We exited the car and we started talking about the creek, waiting for midnight to arrive. We were talking about the haunting and discussing that it was a residual haunting. Well, as we're discussing this, we don't realize that midnight arrives. And what happened at midnight, I still to this day can't explain. Something big hit the water. It sounded like someone had done a cannonball into the water of Short Creek. An enormous splash. The water jostled left and right. We were shocked. Our hearts were pounding. We were terrified. We ran back to the car. We jumped inside, and I flipped the lights on, shining across Short Creek, and there it was. There it was, the water, still jostling. Our hearts were pounding, as you can imagine, and we just sort of stared at the creek, and then at each other, and said, "What is going on?" We didn't hang around. We got out of there. One month later, we went back to Short Creek, back to the same spot where we had that haunting experience. And something happened again. Something a lot worse. It was midnight, and I pulled my vehicle into the small lot. We stepped out and started to walk towards the creek when I realized that I'd forgotten my digital audio recorder in the car. Well, as I returned to the car, I used my keyless entry device, and it didn't work. I used the key to get in the vehicle, and I quickly realized the car's battery was dead. we were pretty shaken up. We knew that there had to be some reason for why the battery chose that moment to die. And we knew that something must be coming. Something was building energy in order to show itself to us. We sat in the car, knowing that we weren't going anywhere. Last time we had the option to speed off, but that wasn't the case this time. This time, we were going to be sticking around. This time, there was no running. I was checking my phone, trying to see if I had service, when something happened. Something was said that I will never forget. My friend in the passenger seat beside me, he said something. He said, "Zach, look. Oh my God." And it still sends chills down my spine today. "Zach, look. Oh my God." And I looked up from the phone, and, well, what I saw, it